Welcome back to another hour of Scotch Hour. I'm Noah.
And I'm Jesse.
Okay, well, we have episode 157. And I think we're closing in on the beginning of, year 4?
This is year 4. This is the beginning of year 4, officially.
This is officially year 4.
Yeah, I thought you knew that, man.
No, I thought it was next week.
No, this is officially episode 1, year 4.
Oh, wow.
Hence 157. 52 times 3 would be 156.
All right, well, in any case,
157 for year 4.
For this evening's Scotch, we have the Ardnamurchan. I probably butchered that totally.
No, Ardnamurchan.
You
got it. You nailed it.
Western Highlands. From after that, we'll do our shout outs and get it togethers. Our restaurant review of Zane's Italian Bistro. And then this evening's Smarter Challenge is that we are going to play the game Who's Most Likely To. But the twist is that we are going to pick two famous people each. And from those 4 people, we will choose who's most likely to do whatever.
Oh, man, we're included in that mix, by the way.
Are we?
We could be, yeah.
I didn't think so. I thought it was just...
Nah, dude. If there's one where I'm like, this isn't any of those others, it's Noah. It's Noah.
I'm going to find it to be one of those 4 people. All right. Well, before we jump into the Scotch, thank you to all the brand new subscribers on YouTube and Rumble, as well as our podcast platforms. We greatly appreciate all of you new subscribers. Also, thank you to the many viewers and listeners as well. We thank you for all that support. Please like, share, and subscribe if you do like our content. And definitely leave some comments down below. I saw that we just got a brand new comment on one of our most recent videos that we dropped talking about BJ's restaurant.
Yeah, she said she always likes BJ's because it has something for everyone.
Exactly. So, so thank you for leaving that comment, Sherry. We greatly appreciate that.
Scotch Reviewed.
This is the Ardnamurchan Argyle Western Highland Distillery's single malt Scotch. And this one, I think the best way to put it, and I love the way you phrase this, it is just north of the Isle of Mull. It's a finger out of the mainland, and just south of the Isle of Skye. That's the best representation. Pull out a map, just north of Mull, just south of Skye. You'll get a pretty good idea for about this distillery's location based on the fact that it makes both peated and unpeated scotches in its history. Now, here's where it gets also very interesting and cloudy. This particular scotch, no color added, non-chill filtered. However, their past is plenty of colorful and definitely filtered. Originally founded in 1826 by Charles and David Gray on the banks of the River Clyde of the northern edge of the Garballs. The distillery was built. They started distilling. The basic history, that was 1826. You're talking about 40 years later, 1840, 1860. In 1840s, they consider themselves the fathers of the masters of blending. I don't know about that because that distillery is no more. However, 1860, laws are changed. You no longer have to pay taxes just for distilling alcohol until you are actually selling it. So they go legitimate. They start making some money. They are producing some great scotch. They're right there. They've got transportation because they're right on the edge of the water, can take their scotch each way, every direction. But then in 1906, so 1906, the not so year of our Lord, the Great Carballs disaster happened. And basically, one of the stills and the cells that was holding all the alcohol failed, pouring alcohol into the streets, causing a major disaster, including fatality. And
Just one?
I mean, that's how they left it. Fatality.
Sounds like one.
It could have been multiple. I can't imagine it would have been many. However, one fatality is all it takes. There were a bunch of other things going on, by the way. This collapse, this fail of machinery is just one piece. You have world wars and depressions and everything else going on. Long story short, they ultimately destroyed, deconstructed, dismantled, demolished the distillery. And then later, early 2000s, more interest was built. Jamie Walker, actually, late 1900s, found an interest in possibly reestablishing a distillery. And through time and trials, in 2007, finally got some approval, builds a distillery. The distillery is officially founded, so the Ardnamurchan distillery is officially founded in 2014. So that's what we're drinking here. They've had some great scotches. Their first one, the 2016, was when they released their first bottling. In 2021, my understanding, was when they released their first single malt scotch, which may be what we're drinking right here. It's very possible because, of course, it takes some time, some years of aging. You found in 2014, you let it age 7 to 8 years, and you end up with a single malt that we are pretty excited for. Man, anything else you want to mention about there?
In your research, did it say anything why, like, when you go to their website, it doesn't say the Ardnamurchan? It says Adelphi Distillery.
So Adelphi is what Jamie Walker officially established. And okay. I believe what he is doing is using the name from the original.
Okay. So is the AD, is that standing for the Adelphi Distillery, do you think?
I think that's exactly what it is.
Okay, just checking here.
That would be my understanding. There was nothing that was fully descriptive of it, but it sounds like a lot of people enjoy visiting this site.
Okay, because in my brief research, I didn't find that information, so I wasn't sure if you found it.
I mean, if you go online, there is an Ardnamurchan distillery. Yeah, but I think it's actually...
Well, when you go there, but then he pulls up and it says Adelphi Distillery.
Right, and I think that's ultimately what Jamie Walker really established.
Well, they do have two tours there. One's called the Taste the Story Tour. It's 15 Great British pounds. It's a guided walkthrough through their production history, and after you're done with the tour, you get to enjoy one dram.
Go big or go home.
However, their other tour, Behind the Scenes. This one is 50 Great British pounds. It's more in depth. That's all they really say. Is it's more in depth. They mention it like 2 or 3 times in their little brief description of it. And it says you get a few drams. So I'm imagining that's 3 because 1 is 1, couple is 2, 3 or more is few.
Okay, you're not going to sell yourself short if you're doing 4.
But you also get an AD glass afterwards as well.
All right.
So those are your tours for this particular distillery.
Man, interesting. Relatively, honestly, they have a very brief history, and I imagine that has a lot to do with their limited tours. But the fact that they have any is great. I do imagine that their location, north of Mole and south of Skye, boat rides not far away, could really lead to some great tourist attraction as well.
I imagine that it would, and I mean they do have like some other expressions out there, like cask strength expressions and a rum cask version, and so. And I guess some of the other ones have like numbers after the AD, which I have no idea what those numbers stand for.
Maybe the age of the year it was
possible.
Casked or bottled? Yeah.
That's something I have to do more research on. But I probably won't do that unless we try one.
We're going to try this one. If this is dynamite.
Then we'll look more into it.
All right. Now, the only scary part there is this could be either the best or the worst, and it could be like the Glen Goyne, where you try one, it's like a damn 10-year, and it's like, what is this? Urine. We try two, it's the cast strength. This is pretty good. And then we try the third one in the middle, supposedly the 12-year, and it was phenomenal. So,
who knows?
Who knows? We're going to give this a try. Well, the first thing I want to say is the box is like hefty. It's well constructed. It's firm. I have faith that if I drop this a foot or two,
I thought it was flimsy.
I mean, feel the corners. Like, I
guess the corners
I think they do a great job because the bottle is perfectly placed in there. So the centers are really supported by the bottle, but the corners they've done a really nice job with. So from a cardboard standpoint, it feels sturdy. Once you take the bottle out, it's still pretty sturdy. I'm not disappointed.
You're right. It is. I think. I don't even know why that is flimsy.
Because it looks flimsy. It looks like recycled crap. But it's nice and strong. I'm loving whatever cardboard stock they used for the box. The bottle itself, it's simple as far as their expression. They haven't gone too far with it. I'm kind of enjoying the look of it. It looks very noble. I mean, if that's what they were going for, I think they did a nice job making this bottle look noble. Definitely not skittish like a lot of the American bottles. The foil. All right, as we approach releasing the top of this off of this bottle, foil's pretty hefty. Well perforated.
Wood top.
We're hoping. I do like how they press in great detail the foil. And yes, not only is it a wood top, you're going to appreciate this. It is truly carved, etched, or burnt in, whichever they do. I love it. I think that is fantastic. I love it when they go the extra mile. The natural wood top.
Like real cork.
If this is not a real cork, oh man, I'll probably shit a chicken because they've already gone to this length. Like, don't fail us now. All right.
Looks like real cork.
That is real cork. All right. Well done so far. Ardnamurchan. Ardnamurchan. There's probably a much sexier way to say that. I'm going to practice it during the tasting. Ardnamurchan.
It has a nice nose. All right. Well, I guess it's time for our tasting notes and our warp speed. Cheers. Ardnamurchan AD Western Highlands single malt Scotch. Wow, coming out of nowhere. This particular Scotch. I didn't when I was over at Bevy's liquor store. I saw this one. I'm like, well, this is one that we haven't tried yet, so might as well give it a shot. It was roughly like $69, I believe, on the shelf. It could be a little bit more, a little bit less, but roughly I think it was right around that $69 mark. Quite the surprise coming out of nowhere, right? This is like one of those dark horse candidates here for that price range, I would say. First of all, I'll talk about the presentation. I'm not a huge fan of the box itself, but it is sturdy. I think the reason why I don't like the box is because when you look at it, it looks like it'd be like a flimsy cardboard box. But the color, maybe it's because of the coloring or the way they do the color coding. But the gold on there does stand out, which is kind of nice with the AD. But beyond the box itself, like I really love the bottle. I thought the bottle's done great. I like how it's not like too complex or over busy. I enjoy that they use a wood topper and etched in their mascot, the Dancy Man. which I thought was phenomenal. Plus, they use real cork, not pressed cork. And as you pointed out, they have a UPC symbol in the back to where you can actually find out more information about that particular bottle on the back label of the bottle itself, right?
QR code.
So did I say UPC code or sorry, QR code?
The world knew what you meant.
The box thingy with the 3 squares, like whatever. I don't know. It's just another thing for the elites to try to control the masses.
If you do enough of these QR codes, you're gonna ram a ship into a bridge.
All right. So, anyways, I really did like the presentation, so I gave it a 5 out of 5. The color I put here is a nice summer wheat gold color. And knowing that it's not added, they didn't add any color to it, non-chill filtered, I did give it a 5 out of 5 for the color. I enjoyed that. When it comes to the nose, this was my low point here.
Really?
I had it as a lemon pill with like a sea breeze, peat, and oil. It wasn't the most complex or enticing nose I've smelled, but then again, we've had some really nice scotches in the past. So it was simple, but but to me not very complex. And I gave it a 25 out of 30. However, that's the lowest score it received from me, because when it comes to the palate, I actually did enjoy the palate. Here I got green apples with pear, vanilla, toasted barley, which then leads into a slightly ginger/cinnamon spice to begin the finish. And with the way those like the green apple and the pear and the vanilla and the toasted barley all mixed together, which then leads up to that like the beginning of the spicy finish, I really enjoyed, and I gave that a 27 out of 30. This as that spicy tone starts to subside, it left a finish in my mouth of toasted oak with hints of lemon, vanilla, and peat, which I really enjoyed. Did I say toasted oak? I meant, okay, good. I want to make sure, because that toasted oak, because you get like that, you get some smokiness from that toasted oak, but you get that toasted oak with the hints of lemon, vanilla, and peat, which I really enjoyed, and I gave that a 27 out of 30. So my grand total of points is 89 points. I really did enjoy this particular scotch. The nose itself wasn't my favorite, but the palate and the finish I enjoyed. Now, is this a black tie affair? I'm going to say no. But is it a dinner party affair where you might be getting together for a special occasion at a dinner party? Then I would say yes, but not black tie affair. Would I take it to a game night? Yes, I definitely would. So I think it has a place on your shelf. I most certainly do believe it does. Although that $69/$70 range, whatever, from 55, I say anywhere from basically from $60 to $75 range. That area is getting pretty tight, but I still think you can find a spot on your shelf for this particular one. I think it's worthy of a spot. It has some great flavors, and you can see that they actually do put some love and care and detail into their product, especially when you see Dancing Man mascot being etched into their wooden topper using real cork, and the etching on the bottle itself, and the QR code to find additional information about that particular bottle. I really did dig the presentation as well as the palette and the finish, and so I do think it's worthy of a try.
All right. Well, we've got an 89 for Noah. How will my score stack up? All right. First things first. Man, this is a really tough one because I'm right there with you. I love the structure of the box. I actually really think the bottle is very regal, but they just killed it with the topper. And I think once in a while we have to give a notice to that extra detail, whichever one it may be. Another thing that is easily overlooked is the AD that is in the foil around, because it's a flat foil with a gloss AD. Very easy to overlook. So myself, I also gave this a 5 out of 5 for presentation. Color, man, to me, I don't know why. This is a Caribbean sunrise to me. Like, it is that golden glow coming up on the heat. It's not the sunset. It is just getting started. It's a great way to start your morning. I would imagine with a light cigar, this would be phenomenal. Oh, dear God, what?
I was going to ask you, is it a California sunrise off the ocean?
Dude, it's a Caribbean sunrise. California's not far, but it's nowhere close. This is a Caribbean sunrise.
When you said that, it just reminded me of your story about how you went to go check out the sunrise at the California coast.
Oh my God, that was terrible. And that is a beautiful story off of Dillon Beach for another day. By the way, you have a wrong time of year going into the water, trying to get the sunrise picture. Reflection off the water. God damn it. If you're on the West Coast, that means you have to be in the water. And if you didn't bring a wetsuit and only a swimsuit, it's going to be a cold day in hell taking that picture. It was worth it. The fog was amazing. Man, thanks for bringing that up. That's actually one of my fondest memories, because I was freezing. So, but it was worth it. I slept on the beach. It's the only time in my life I've ever slept on a beach. It was beautiful and freezing at the same time. And I was worried about cops coming to find me the whole time, because I'm like, this is not a big beach. This is like a bunch of rich people wondering what there's this guy doing out there sleeping on a damn picnic table doing. All right, so with that, the color, a Caribbean sunrise, no color added. It's beautiful. It's a 5. And I mean that, man. This makes me want to go on a cruise. I love that. And it's interesting because there are other expressions we've tried which make me think of the whole vacation. This is just making me think of the sunrise. So not necessarily the way you want to finish the day, but definitely a great way to start it. The nose, here's where it's interesting. When we started enjoying this beverage, this fine single malt Scotch, one of the things I said is there's something I think I like that you don't. And it is very profound to me, particularly in the nose. And for me, what that is, and it's not that you don't like it, I have this huge lust for it. It's lime. It's lime mixed with orange, which you do like, but the lime, I'm not sure you have that same affinity for. Like, literally, lime is a turn on to me. So lime. Oh, the brine, that little teeny bit of peat and smoke. Ah, man, it kind of reminds me of like that flavor, that finish on a Cadillac margarita when you got all the great liquors in there with the fresh squeezed lime and orange and everything. But the lime, the brine, and the orange, for me, the nose is a win. It's a 27 solidly. Palate. The palate I also love. Man, I'm digging this Scotch, even for $80 a bottle. For me on the palate, again, lime. I can see where you get lemon, but for me, it's lime. And I am loving lime. And what's really interesting is that it's also mixed with peach, a little bit of soft milk chocolate. The salt comes out. It's not even brine on the front of the palate. It is salt, and I love the salt. Again, it kind of gives me this Margaritaville feeling. There is this hint of earth, like when you don't want to, but you get a bite of dirt. You know, that little piece of dirt in your mouth? There's that hint of earth. And then that's also where you mentioned the ginger, the smoke, and the oak are coming out. I gave it another solid 27 on the palate. Loved it. The finish. The finish is great. That sweet chocolate turns to dark chocolate with a little bit of peat, smoke, and oak. The finish for me, though, wasn't quite as high. It was sitting at a 26. I gave this Scotch a 90. I think it was fantastic. As far as would I take it to a black tie event, here's the answer. Man, as much as I love the details, that's a no, because it's still not something that I would want myself to be represented by. Although I'm not ashamed of it if I'm bringing it. It's just not where, if I'm going to a black tie event, typically a person wants to get noticed, not questioned. And so this is one where I don't feel like I can speak to this 100%. So not to a black tie event, absolutely to a party. Again, I think this would go amazing side by side with margaritas and any number of great drinks, a Corona with lime, others, a place on the shelf. Now, yes, is the answer. Particularly because of its interesting history and its location. Again, you're going just north of Mole, just south of Sky, part of the mainland, one of those fingerlings, if you will. God, I love fingerling potatoes sliced and cut in duck fat. Ah, delicious. Overall, I gave this Scotch a 90, and I do recommend giving it a try.
It's time for our shout-outs.
All right, I'm going to try to keep this. Actually, I'm not going to try. I am going to keep this poignant and straightforward. Keep it simple. Ferrari at the 2024 Australian Grand Prix. Maybe it was a little bit of luck. Maybe it was a little bit of coincidence. Who knows how it would have fared otherwise of some of the other dramatic events. But taking first and second in the finish, congratulations. Well done. Please keep the momentum going. I love what you did for my stock the next couple of days. And then also our second shout out goes to us and hitting 100 subscribers.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty simple to somebody who, is just some sexy supermodel. You probably didn't even have to try. We've had to work at this a little bit. So every one of you 100, thank you very much. How about your shout outs?
I'm going to give a shout out to Carlos Sainz, who won the Grand Prix, driver for Ferrari, because here's the reason why. Verstappen had won 10 races in a row, and the person who broke that streak was Carlos Sainz. Then, after that streak was broken, Verstappen and his most current win streak was 9 races, and the person who broke that streak again was Carlos Sainz.
It's time for our shout-outs.
Now, just going to throw this out there. Did Carlos Sainz break it, or was it a coincidence? The world may never know.
Wow.
Carlos Sainz was looking strong. He just had his appendix removed. He was running light anyway, so he had a little bit of weight reduction.
I mean, sometimes in racing,
dude, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Yeah. But in any case, I just want to give him a shout out. Obviously Verstappen, I think we can pretty much say that's my favorite driver currently. And just to see Carlos Sainz in both cases stop his win streaks, I think he deserves a shout out for that. Might want to get it together.
Yes, let's hear it.
Has to do with, I don't know if it's the U.S. government. I don't know if it's if it's computer hackers or if it's idiots driving a boat, but taking down the bridge in Baltimore, that particular area is responsible for about 20% of the U.S. economy, and that's going to be we're going to end up seeing food. It's going to affect food. It's going to affect gas. It's going to affect a lot of different aspects of the U.S. economy, and it's not going to be a quick fix. This is going to be lingering probably for as long as maybe for probably about a minimum of anywhere from 3 to 5 years that this is going to affect our economy. When you look at the port of Baltimore and how much traffic goes in and out of there, and as well as like the trafficking that was going across on that bridge, that taking out that bridge, like I said, it pretty much halted about 20% of the U.S. economy, and now it's going to have to be deterred and altered, and so it'll be a little while before I mean, we're going to start to see effects of that here in a short bit, and it'll be a while before we probably fully recover from it.
All right, we're Americans. We're strong. We will overcome this. I find it interesting because that's one of my two. And my whole thing is like, let's just face some facts. You mentioned about 20% of the U.S. economy goes over this bridge, which easily
either over or under 8 cars.
Easily controlled 30%. 33,000 goers crossing this bridge every single day. The money that goes over this bridge, but there's one other interesting anomaly that I found prolific here. Actually, two. The first one being most of our gas-powered vehicles have to cross that bridge to get to their final destination in America. Electric vehicles have recently plummeted in pricing. What might be one way to drive their cost slowly back up? Increase the cost of gas-powered vehicles by decreasing the demand. Supply and demand was always the thing. I love it. If anyone really is curious, Elon Musk is a genius. He spelled out what was going to happen with the electric car business long ago, and he knew he would be the only one to survive if anyone did, because he was going to be the first and foremost. You have to have 3 to 5 years worth of cars before you start to need car parts to repair, and that's where you make all your money. And it's brilliant because everyone else is under 5 years, and they're not even selling their cars. They're not even making any money. They're losing, I think Ford's, over $20,000. Ford's averaging on losses on their Ford Mustang E right now. Imagine being the guy who paid extra to get one of those early ones off the lot. God. That would suck. It's not like the first Corvette of any model. Okay, so with that, that's the piece. And then the second one is, let's not disconnect the possibility that this was also because it was going to always have a huge impact on the economy, something that was terrorist oriented. Now, if I'm any part of any administration, I'm going to hide that to the nth degree, because the moment that comes into light, I have to throw money at that. We just barely kept our own government going. We keep flooding Ukraine with money. The last thing I want to do is have to take money away from other things to fight a war on terror.
I did not want to go into that aspect because there are theories out there now.
I have no doubt. Like in my heart, that's what happened.
Well, look at the name of the bridge. The name of the bridge is named after the guy who wrote our national anthem. Some people think that was a deep state taking a shot at the American people for wanting to re-elect Donald Trump.
All right, so we can never go there because they never will go there, because no matter how you want to look at it, we can't afford to fight another war on terror because we're fighting other people's. And then my only other one, and again, I'll try to keep this short. It is a win, in a sense, for everyone who thinks that the different changes on house sales and realtors' fees are going to benefit people. And that also there is another one, and that is that Visa and MasterCard just agreed to a major settlement that's going to account for, I think they said $200 billion over the course of the next 5 years. Who's really going to benefit by any of this? And my only answer is really look at the basics. Guess what? If you had the money for the house in the first place, you still have it. The realtor's not getting the money. The seller is. It's not going to change the price of any of these houses. What it will do, that's nice, is put the money back into the pockets of the people selling it. But the people who are buying it aren't saving a dime. So really, if you didn't already have the money, you're not any better. So again, the rich get richer. The second, with the credit card fees and everything else, it's the same thing. The only one that's really going to benefit by that is the government. And man, also, like, let's not go there this episode, but what would be the best way to take the war back to crypto? Start challenging all the other monetary sources and lines of credit. And also at what point does it, like Visa and MasterCard, they're still making trillions of dollars. They're not going to stop. But at what point do they just say this isn't worth it anymore, right? Like, we're good. They don't, because it's publicly traded, but nonetheless, that's it. All right. I got off my soapbox. restaurant review. This week's restaurant, Noah selected for us a great choice, actually, a phenomenal choice in my mind. Zane's Italian Bistro, located just south of Hampton on Yosemite. Man, that was a great restaurant.
It was. It was a great restaurant. I mean, the outside, the parking, like, honestly, I don't have anything bad to say about the parking. We parked up like pretty close to the front door.
As close as we could get, not being handicapped.
And then I didn't notice any like potholes, but then again, I was the one driving, so but it didn't look like there was a whole lot of potholes in the in the parking lot. And then the lighting, I don't know. I can't really say anything about the lighting because it was still kind of like daylight out or there was enough sunlight out to where I didn't get to see that. So as far as the outside goes, I thought it was really great. When you first walk in, I love the decor. It's my one complaint about the interior is I thought the lighting was a little bit too dark. And I guess this is just other nitpicky thing, is that I would do more like that, like Tuscan red versus like a lipstick fire hydrant red on the walls. But that's all kind of minor stuff. But the way they had the place decorated, the decor, I thought it was great. The wait staff was phenomenal. In fact, I think we had like 3 people ask us, maybe 4 people who visited our table. And to be honest, I wasn't really sure who our waiter was or waitress was.
I think that's real Italian dining. That's the real Italian service.
So, which is great. I mean, because I know when you go to a fine dining restaurant, you'll have multiple waiters or wait staff that are tending to you, so that was kind of nice that you kind of got the same aspect here. So I thought the wait staff did a phenomenal job. So outside, I'm giving it a nice solid 7. Inside, I really liked the decor. I'm giving that a 8. The wait staff, I really enjoyed it. I thought they did a great job, so I'm going to give that a 9. The food, I originally... I was going to get the lobster raviolis. Oh. But then I changed my mind and went with the margarita calzone, which I really enjoyed because the reason why I switched it up was I kind of thought the wine that we got, which was a nice wine, would go better with the calzone than it would with the raviolis. And which I thought the calzone was phenomenal. It had great flavor. The crust was phenomenal. The sauce was great. And then I believe, we also got. Did you order?
Dude, no, they just brought, because we had waited a couple of minutes, some breadsticks with the pomodoro sauce for us to nibble on while we were waiting for our calzone.
That was also phenomenal.
Oh, so damn good.
So I know it's a sit down restaurant. It's not. I wouldn't put it on the high end side.
Casual Italian dining.
Yeah, it's called casual. Yeah, casual Italian. So here's the thing: is I've been to a better Italian restaurant, so I feel like I can't give it a 10, but I do believe it is a solid 9. At least for the food that I tried. Now, I need to go back and probably try the lobster ravioli, but I do believe if it's anything like what we tried with the breadsticks and the calzones, I'm pretty sure that's going to be a 9. The value, here's the thing, man. That calzone was huge. It was big. I also got a salad.
I was going to say, don't forget to mention your salad.
My salad was my salad was a solid salad. It was good, but for basically like $20, because I think it was like $5 for the side salad, $15 for the calzone. That's a phenomenal deal. I mean, then you and I split the a bottle of wine, so we were still pretty good pricing.
Good wine.
Yeah.
$15.
Yeah. So I think right around $30 was my cost total for basically 2 glasses of wine, a salad, and breadsticks and a nice calzone with great sauce. So the value there, I'm going to give it an 8. So that was a good value for that. So that gives us a grand total of, because I'm not going to math it here without a calculator. 8.2.
All right.
Would I take a date there? Yes, I would take a date there. Would I meet a friend there? Yes, I would meet a friend there. Would I call it a destination? Ooh, that's tough. I think for calzones.
Dude, that's literally what I wrote. For calzones, yes.
For calzones, I think it would be a destination.
I just
spot.
don't know about the rest of their food yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I just don't know about everything else, just like you. But definitely for calzones, it's a destination spot. So, and I definitely will be visiting there again, and hopefully, I don't have to give them a bad follow-up review like we would have to do with Paradise Tavern Italian or Indian Sports Bar. That place sucks. Never going there again. I take back everything I said, all the points. It got like a 1 now.
It's funny because we felt betrayed and lost trust with that second one, and that's all it takes. That's all you have to do is lose trust and feel betrayed, and you never want to go back anywhere.
Exactly. Even though I thought originally the food was great, but now after what we spent. Anyways, back to Zane's though. Zane's definitely yes. Going back to visit again, and all the other top stuff. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, Zane's Italian Bistro for Jesse. Very similar in many of a form. Although I did have a little bit higher rating for it myself. So from the exterior environment, I dug it, especially on a sunny evening or, a non-cloudy evening, however you want to present it. But a sunny evening, the exterior was well lit. It was presentable. It looked great. Very inviting. I gave the exterior environment a 9. Now, unlike Noah, I myself did not mind the dark interior as much, but I'm also pretty damn dramatic. Like, I watched Underworld and Underworld Evolution, and watching Underworld, I'm like, God damn, that's what I want the inside of my house to look like. You know how it's a vampire's lair with red and black and bookcases and all sorts of crazy things. Granted, they're drinking blood and not wine or scotch, but, replace that one thing is pretty good. Internal atmosphere for me was very comfortable. It was very inviting. Again, another 9. The service, I loved the service. It was great. Now here's what's interesting. I don't know what it was missing, but it was missing something just a little bit to keep it from getting a 10 or even a 9. The service for me was an 8, and I think it's because of when we initially went in there, we waited just a little bit and we're like, who the fuck is our server? And then before we knew it, 4 people would visit our table. So maybe we were both just hungry and impatient. But the service was still, on a bad day possibly, a solid 8. And it was very good. The food. Okay, so I did not have the salad. Well, I also got to share the breadsticks, the gifted breadsticks with pomodoro sauce. We had not waited more than 5 minutes, and this gentleman, our server, is bringing out these breadsticks with the pomodoro sauce. Delicious. Not even 5 minutes later, our calzones were at the table. You'd already had your salad. We were good and golden. But the calzone. I had the Meat Lovers calzone replaced it, so it comes with salami and pepperoni and sausage and I think they said shaved meatballs. I replaced the meatballs with mushrooms. Oh my God. Think about everything I just said. I'm going to have nightmares tonight. But the calzone was amazing. The bread, the crust, oh, perfect, especially in their marinara sauce, which in a good Italian restaurant is distinctively different than the pomodoro, and it was. But the marinara sauce was phenomenal. Breaking into this calzone. Pepperoni, fantastic. The sausage was probably my favorite.
You're making me hungry all over again.
Dude, I'm it was that
like
good.
Ready to go back.
Yeah, dude, the mushrooms were good, but it was the sausage and the pepperoni and the salami and then the mozzarella and the ricotta that were all so fantastic with that marinara sauce. I just remember at the end, I couldn't quite finish the last couple bites of my crust, and I was sad because it was that good, but I didn't want to come home and be sick and not be able to film a show. So for me, ultimately, the food, a 10. All roundabout, and I only give this place a food a 10 because you'd mentioned this. I think it's fair to say this is a mid-range restaurant. This is not a high-end restaurant where you're wearing a jacket. Probably not you could, but most likely you're not. So, but you're also not expecting 5 or 6 star. You're not expecting Michelin service, so to speak. But for what you get, the value was great. The value was a solid 8 overall. My total was an 8.8. I don't think for a mid-range restaurant you get much better. Now this place, again, Calzones, would I take a date there? 100% hell yes. Would I meet a friend there? Absolutely. This is largely based on Calzones. Not a whole lot of experience anywhere else. For me currently, is it a destination for Calzones? Yes. But we will go back. I am fully confident of that. We're going to try another dish, something different. And then I think these numbers will probably change a little bit. For me, this is no Barolo Grill. This is not in Il Mulino, Las Vegas, or New York. This is, however, Zane's Italian Bistro, and here at just south of Hampton on Yosemite, it was fantastic.
Smarter challenges.
It might almost be worthy to go get a calzone tomorrow.
It was that good.
Sorry. On to our Smarter Challenge.
All right. This week's Smarter Challenge, we are each picking 2 individuals for who's most likely to, and then we will decide which of these characters is most likely to be that person. So Noah's going to pick 2 characters, and I'm going to pick 2. All right, Noah, who are your 2?
Well, I think last week I already talked about it. I think last week I am going to stick with who I said as being Donald Trump and Biden.
Oh my God.
I didn't see what it said.
I will read it in just a second. All right. So Noah has got Donald Trump to his right, and on his left, he's got Joe, the smooth operator, Biden. On my right, I have got Max Verstappen, the current Formula One world champion. And on my left, I have got the not so successful in 2024, Lewis Hamilton, 7-time world championship driver, most recently for Mercedes. All right, we're going to go through a few cards and say who is most likely to.
Before we jump in here, this is a real game.
This is a real game.
And from my understanding, the way you play it is like, is it like everyone picks a person and whoever gets the most votes gets the card, and whoever gets 7 cards first, they lose?
You go around the table. Each one player reads a card aloud, and they are now the judge. Now, here's where it gets tricky. So you're going to read your card. Technically, you are the judge. However, everyone who is in the group deserves the card. And why you do not want to be tagged with the card. So here's where it gets really ugly, is that if you're playing this in a group, you never want to be the ones tagged as the card. Hence, some history of this game playing with others did not always go so well. The judge decides who gets the card. The player keeps the card and loses a point. Each round has a new judge, whoever is sitting to the left of the previous judge. When a player reaches -7 points, the game ends and that player is declared the loser. So that's where this game gets real ugly, is there's tons of winners.
So basically,
one fucking loser.
So basically the way this works is I read the card, and then I say who I think it would go to and why.
So here's the thing.
Or do I not say that?
You do not say why until the end. You choose the person, you give the card, and only after there is a loser.
So how do you pick somebody?
So we switch cards, and you read yours, and you pick who it goes to.
Oh, okay. So we
So
both don't,
you know why.
So we
So-
both don't get a vote on who it is.
No, you do. You have to decide who gets that card. And so it's either going to be Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton. Once one of those people reaches 7, then we have to read out the cards. They automatically are the loser. To make it worse, we have to go why they are the loser over every one of the 7 cards.
All right. Well, I think we both should say who we think gets the card.
We're not going to play by the classic rules. What we're going to do is we're going to read the card and then vote for who gets it and move on.
I think we should say why they should get it, though.
That's fine.
All right. Card number 61. Has no idea what's going on. I think this is slam dunk Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Because he's like walking in the walls, shaking hands with the air, walking upstairs.
Crapping on the steps in the Vatican.
Yeah. I no one can match this Joe Biden with has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I think the other 3 definitely know what's going on, and you and I at least have some clue even after a drink. All right. Number 84 would trample a kid on Black Friday.
Would trample a kid on Black Friday. Ooh. I probably would go with Max Verstappen. Because if he wants something, he's going to go right after it and he's going to like zoom in there. That's what I'm saying here. That's why I'm going with Max Verstappen. That was most likely to like snatch a kid and smell their hair and stuff like that. I go
Yeah,
Joe
we're
Biden.
not going there. All right, we got one for Verstappen, one for Biden.
Wait, who is that?
Biden, Verstappen.
Yeah, but who you?
Oh, no, Max Verstappen, the same reason. This guy's never going to be trampling over anyone in a real Black Friday sale because he can afford anything he damn wants. But at the end of the day, I agree. He will do whatever it takes to go after the prize, especially in his earlier years, which I didn't love his earlier years. So I don't actually love that I say that about him. But at the same time, he's hungry. So
Yeah,
he gets the
I think that's
card.
the reason why he goes to him. He's hungry. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, number 10. Gets convinced strangers are celebrities. Once again, because of his mental aptitude, I'm going to have to go with Joe Biden.
I agree. And he's also smelling their hair. Number 247 would go out if they didn't have to get up. Man, I'm really struggling with this one. I
Wait.
probably shouldn't have picked this one.
Would go out if
take
they
it.
don't have to get up?
I mean, I assume that means in the next morning, so I'll go out tonight if I don't have to get up tomorrow. You know who I'm going to go with? I'm going to go with Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, that's who I would go with.
And I think that's because I think one of the differences is, and this isn't, again, this is one of those things where it's like, not necessarily the best because supposedly you don't want these cards, but at the same time, he's established enough in his career and his relationship where unless he's got a reason not to go out, he's going to go out.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. That's who I'd go with. Yeah.
A presidential candidate can't.
Number 9 is going straight to hell.
Oh, shit.
I'm not mixing these. I'm just pulling them straight from them. Like,
Dude, I know. I already know your answer, too.
yes, it is going to be Biden. I think he destroyed America with even his first day in office with everything that he signed.
I'm going to go on a different level of all the evil they've hidden that he's done that we know he's done because of his kids. All right. This is I don't know how I get these because, again, we didn't choose these. And right now I'm like, God damn it, I should have chosen some cards. So number 245 probably owns a sex toy.
Probably owns. I'm going to say Lewis Hamilton.
I'm actually going to go with Joe Biden. I don't think Lewis Hamilton or Max Verstappen are needing to hide anything and having any
Does it
problem
hide
anything. And as far as like, they don't have to stay home and take care of any weird business, nor do they want to. So I'm going to go with Joe Biden.
All right.
Joe Biden's up to 4, by the way.
It doesn't say about hiding. It says probably owns a sex toy. But yeah, he probably does.
For sure.
All right. Number 8. Will make out with absolutely anyone.
Oh, that's a tough one.
That is a tough one. But because of all the pictures of him smelling little girls' hairs and playing with them and getting in trouble during his last presidential election run with him like groping women and like their boyfriends or husbands getting upset, I'm going to go with Joe Biden.
All right.
Who would you go with?
I would also go with Joe Biden.
Joe Biden's going to
All right. Here's what's interesting. So I got my next card is number 244.
Okay, I'm going to get rid of this next one because that would be automatically Joe Biden.
Good call. All right. Number 244. Won't even come to your funeral. This is one of those weird things where like it's meant to be disrespectful, right? We want people to come to our funeral. And again, if I'm talking about the 2 race car drivers, Lewis Hamilton is not my favorite. But this card is still going to go to Max Verstappen because I think he's the one who's like life goes on. And what's weird is I think Arnold Schwarzenegger would agree that's a strength.
So that I would have gone with Mr. Donald Trump.
I actually think Donald Trump is much more conservative and would absolutely come to a funeral.
Well, yeah,
I've seen him.
Yeah, he's actually gone to funerals.
He goes to tons of funerals.
Yeah, I take
like
that
when
back.
soldiers come back 7 at a time on a plane.
I take that back. Yeah, Verstappen's probably okay.
And again, it's just that Max Verstappen's in a different area of drive. That's.
Well, see, the reason why I was saying
It's not like he's not going to his dad's funeral. He's just not coming to mine.
I just remember one time in high school in the school library, there is a book that I was reading about billionaires, and the guy said like one of the pieces of advice he said is like in case of a funeral, send flowers, keep working, because there's nothing really you can.
I think that's an Arnold Schwarzenegger thing too. Like he doesn't say it like that.
But that's the reason why I said Donald Trump. But then you made a very good point. He's actually been to a lot of funerals, so I can't really say that.
Dude, I think I got my first Trump card next.
So, all right, number 64. Challenges Gypsy to scarf dancing competition. I am going to go with Hamilton.
Are you?
And the reason why I'm going to go with Hamilton is because something you said earlier is that he's pretty much well established in his career. And if he wants to go out, he'll go out or whatever. And I think he's also at a point where he doesn't care what other people really think too much about him. So if he wants to have fun and do that, I think that he would.
What's funny to me is when you read that, I didn't picture him having a competition with some gypsy. I had him creating a competition between 2 gypsies. But it was also him. Because I feel like that. I think Lewis Hamilton is the one person in this group, good or bad. It's not necessarily bad. Here's the thing. That wants to like forget about some of his own woes right now and wants to see somebody else go through some shit. All right. My next card, number 236, is low-key down to hunt rhinoceros.
Is what?
Rhinos. Low-key is down to hunt rhinos.
Down to hunt rhinos?
Low-key. It's definitely not Biden because Biden's afraid.
I don't know if Trump likes to hunt or not, but I'd probably go with the Trump.
I'm going with Trump, but I agree with you. I don't know that that's his thing. I actually think one of Trump's strengths is that he doesn't waste time hunting.
Yeah.
I think he goes after his own goals and he's never had to chase food. So I agree, but he's the one person I would say for that.
Okay. Number 12. Gets popcorn bucket from trash for free refills. So who's going to go to a movie theater, take a popcorn bucket out of the trash can so they can get a free refill?
See, for me, it's not going to be either one of these Formula One drivers.
No.
And it's not going to be Trump. So it's got to be Biden.
I agree. 100% it's Biden. One more and Biden wins.
Well, fuck. We're about there then. Card number 234. Will become a compulsive cross-dresser. I do not see this being Verstappen. I do not see this being Hamilton. Do not see this being ever Trump. Biden has won the game. Wait, here's the next one. Could do a lot better. Hamilton, 7-time champion. Max Verstappen, current champion. Trump made it a shit ton of money doing his own thing. Biden.
My next one is card number 63. Should have been Amish.
None of these fools. Dude, I literally can't see one of them. If you had to pick someone, though, can't be Trump. Too hungry. Can't be Hamilton. Like, literally, Biden.
Yeah.
Wash sheets for bed. Biden.
Goes out to dinner with friends, forgets wallet at home.
Like, it's over. Biden. Here's the struggle with this game. Do not play it with people who will take any of these things personal. Because it gets ugly real quick.
I can see how it would get ugly.
Yeah, if you were the one in that pile. Especially if you didn't perceive it that way.
Oh, yeah. Well, hopefully that was a fun and entertaining topic for all of you. Please leave in the comments down below who you think should have received those cards.
Any one of them.
Any one of them. Do you think it should have been Trump? Do you think it should have been Biden? Do you think it should have been Max Verstappen or Lewis Hamilton? So, yeah, definitely leave in the comments which card that you think should have gone to who. And see if you agree with us or me or with Jesse, because there's some of them I think we weren't 100% together on. All right. Next week's challenge.
All right. Next week's Smarter Challenge is to give a 7.5 minute book report.
What?
Yeah, you got to give a 7.5 minute report on any war of your choice. Who was the victor, in the short run? Who was the victor in the long run? What are the life lessons you have learned from this war? So you can choose the Civil War, the War of 1812, World War I, World War II, any war you choose. But you're going to give a few minute report. And really what that is a brief timeline history. This is when it started. So like if you're doing the Civil War, it started in 1961, ended in 1965, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
All right.
What did you learn? Who was the initial victor? Who was the end victor? And obviously that timeline is not 100% accurate with the Civil War, but the Civil War is a good one. The Revolutionary War is another one.
All right. Well, I'm probably not going to choose either one of those two wars.
That's good. All right. Well, until next week.
Oh, yeah. So thank you. If you lasted this long, which hopefully you did, and you enjoyed that Smarter Challenge that we just did, thank you very much for making it to that point. We do greatly appreciate all of you who watch us on YouTube and Rumble, and all of you who listen to us on the many different podcast platforms. We do greatly appreciate that. If you like our content, please hit that the like button or the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and also leave some comments down below. We would love to hear what you guys have to say, especially on this one. I really want to know what you guys think, who should have gotten what card. And with that, Jesse will close us out.
Remember, life is great. That does not mean it's always going to be easy. And more often than not, the harder you have to fight for it, the more the victory is worth. Do not drink and drive. Remember to drink responsibly. Please be aware of your own mental health, and make sure you're taking time to celebrate friends, family, and everyone else. This show is being recorded slightly before Easter. Will come out shortly after Easter, but do remember with any holiday, whether or not you celebrate that holiday, take time, especially if your businesses are giving you the time off, to celebrate your friends, your family, the ones you love, nature. It's supposed to be a beautiful weekend here in Colorado. Make sure you're taking a little bit of time and saying hello to those you like and love. And until next week, when we talk about a war. Man, this is a stretch. Nobody wants to do this shit. I don't want to fucking talk about war. I'm probably going to choose the Vietnam War unless you are. So until next week. Scotchman! Cheers.
We hope you enjoyed this evening's episode of Scotch Hour. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you have not done so already, please become a Patron member, with memberships starting as low as $1 a month. Thank you, and hopefully you have a wonderful evening.